Welcome to Talk of the Tavern. Father and son, what were we pinning at the end of that? Fridays.
Yeah.
Yeah, today.
Yeah.
Friday.
Today's Friday.
All day. Ooh, there goes Zazzle. There's a Zazzle. Come for Father and Son Friday. Otter's better. Got Otter over there. And then we got Giraffe right here. Yeah. Oh, he's going over there now. Because they're cats.
Yeah.
Anyhow. Okay. Today we're going to be talking to you about Fantasy Flight games?
Yeah.
Yeah, Fantasy Flight games. Star Wars Edge of the Empire, as well as two, you got them?
Yeah.
Two of the expansions, Age of Rebellion, Force and Destiny. We'll be right back. So, here's you guys. Got some coffee here, my Ravenclaw cauldron mug. Look at that. Got little feet on it.
Nerd.
Let me hear from all the Ravenclaws. Yay. What house are you?
I don't know. I haven't taken the test.
Welcome to Ravenclaw. We're better.
No.
I think you're a Hufflepuff. You feel like a Hufflepuff.
I'm a normie.
You're annoying?
A normie. I was just called a normie.
You mean a muggle?
Yeah. No. Muggles are boring.
Whereas a normie...
A normie in the magic world is a Hufflepuff.
Oh.
They're not special. No offense to all you Hufflepuffs out there.
Why are Hufflepuffs not special?
Because there's only one in the movie that's actually significant.
Yeah, but they got like a cuddly badger as a thing.
That's a honey badger. Honey badgers will destroy you.
Okay, back to this. So, Star Wars Edge of the Empire takes place in the game system, though you can move it anywhere you want, and this is a tabletop role-playing game. For those of you not familiar with it, it is a game where you take a character, create a character, as well as your other friends or people playing.
Mm-hmm.
They each create their own character, and they're going to run that character. In other words, to make all the decisions for that character.
It's like a Star Wars D&D.
Well, what if they don't know what D&D is? That's why I'm starting with the role-playing game description.
True.
And then one person runs the game. They basically play every other character out there in the whole game, in the whole universe. Not at the same time, gets very noisy. But if they interact with a bartender, that one person plays the bartender, or the taxi driver, or whatever you have, or Darth Vader, if you run across him.
I am not your father.
Who's your daddy? So, a role-playing game, a lot of if you try to charm your way out of a situation or shoot your way out of a situation, instead of automatically saying, I do this, like we used to when we were kids, you roll a dice and that dice can decide it. So, now about this gaming system. By the way, beautiful books. Spine's not that great, though. The spines get loose pretty easily.
Yeah.
I think that could be an issue of just the thickness of the book. It's pretty thick. Beautiful artwork, nice glossy, and the information, they pulled it from the movies, the cartoons, the books, the comic books, the old role-playing games. Yeah, it's really a nice gathering of information, conglomeration of it. In this one, what you're going to do is you choose your race. Then instead of classes per se, they have careers. And within a career, you have, and actually I'm probably using the wrong terminology off the top of my head.
No, you got it.
So with a bounty hunter, then within a career, you
It's
then
a
have
specialization.
specializations, correct. Yeah, so within bounty hunter, you can have assassin, survivalist, gadgeteer. You get the idea. They have this for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this here, like I said, is supposed to take place between episode 4 and 5. But you can move it anytime you want. And they call it Edge of the Empire because they don't want you working for the Rebellion or the Empire in this one. you're kind of on your own. You're dealing with the Hutts. You might deal with the rebellion, might deal with the Empire, because they're everywhere.
Yeah.
But that is not the momentum behind your character's life, missions, etc. Then they came out with expansions, because people start with this one.
This one, okay.
People went, oh, I want more.
I want to work for the rebellion.
Yeah, everybody wanted to be the good guy, so they came out with Age of Rebellion, which is exact same gaming system as this here.
Except you work for the rebellion.
Right. They do change one thing for each book. In this one, you had, what was it? You had for your motivations and not duty.
Motivation, obligation.
Obligation. So things you owed people, etc. In this one, they have duty.
Mm-hmm.
I said duty.
Call of Duty.
My poop is screaming! And the last one, Force and Destiny, which again, exact same game system, just focusing on Force wielders.
It uses morality.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So that's your breakdown of these games. Focusing on the rebellion, focusing on Force users, and then just really random stuff. Bounty hunters, assassins, smugglers, random like that. The technicals. I want to talk about the dice first.
Okay.
First of all, they're crazy fun.
They're not normal dice.
No, there's no numbers. And when you roll them, you get symbols. Now, they are your gaming dice. So you have 6-sided and
12-sided.
12-sided, 8-sided.
8-sided.
They don't have 10 or 4, do they?
They don't have 4.
I should have brought them in. Do you think we should pause and go grab them?
Yeah.
Do you know where yours are?
Yeah.
You know where mine are?
No.
Should I get mine or should you get yours?
I can get mine.
Go get yours.
Okay.
Okay, we're pausing. Okay, we're back. So, yeah, show them the bag first. I got him a sack. Okay, so that's the rebellion symbol.
For those who don't know, Star Wars.
Yeah, you just dump them out.
Okay.
Carefully. I moved your cup so we can see Otter's face better.
Okay.
Okay, I'm closer to the camera, so I'm going to... So basically, and I'm not going to explain the game mechanics to you. I'm just going to grab one of each dice. Green and purple. There we go.
Did you?
Oh, yeah, the force dice. That's
Yeah.
very important.
They are.
Okay, so here's your dice. You can see there's some crazy shapes there.
Yeah.
And they're used for different things. Good effects, bad effects. They have different symbols on them that represent that. So when you roll these dice, instead of saying, oh, I beat what I needed by 5, you have successes, advantages, failures, disadvantages. And that's the gist of it. That's the basics. There's more, but that's just the essentials. Mm-hmm. So you can fail, but gain an advantage. In other words, maybe you shoot at the stormtrooper, you miss, but you blew out the controls in his speeder bike behind him, so he can't call for help now. Something like that. Or you can hit, but get disadvantage, so you shoot the stormtrooper.
And your gun overheats and burns your hand.
Sure. Exactly, that works. And the nice thing is the person running the game or the players can also suggest these things. So it works out well because everybody's creativity can come into play. Mm-hmm. That took a bit of getting used to, but it makes it feel very cinematic, very movie heroic. It's nice.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
Now, the other problem with the dice is, if you don't play this regularly, you are not going to remember what the hell those things the dice are.
I know what they are.
I know, and it's because we've played it recently.
True.
Yeah. But I found I played it and then didn't play it for like 18 months or 2 years, and I picked them back up. I'm like, I have no clue what any of these things are anymore. I mean, I knew one was a success and the other was... But yeah. The game mechanic itself is... You have a statistic such as strength, intelligence. Were you nudging me?
No.
Oh, okay. And then you have a skill.
Mm-hmm.
You then... and they match up. So if you're firing your gun, it will be agility, and weapons. Now, there are different types of weapons, but we're not going to go into that.
Yeah.
So, let's say you have a 3 agility and 2 in guns.
Okay.
You're going to take the highest of those 3, and use your green dice to see if you're successful. You then take the second thing, the skill, or whichever is lower, and we said the gun has a skill of 2. You now replace 2 of those green dice with yellow, which are good. They just, they're better than the green dice.
Yeah.
And then the guy running the game, or the girl running the game, chooses the difficulties based on range, environmental factors, your hair is on fire, whatever. And you roll that, and you see how many successes versus failures you got.
You failed, by the way.
Did I?
Yeah, you got pure advantage and pure fail.
Yeah. Hair being on fire was hard. So, something else they do in this, which reminds me of World of Warcraft and other video games.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a long review here.
It is.
You have a talent tree. So you have your skills that you want to be better at shooting or acrobatics or whatever, and you use your XP to buy points in those things, and the higher it is, the more it costs. You cannot raise your stats after character creation except through maybe bionic enhancement, certain force things, very exceptional, rare, and expensive ways to raise a stat, and then it's only minimal. But your talent tree is like in a lot of these online video games, role-playing games, you have a separate specialty within your career. And I could compare these to others, but I'm going to not, because you know what I'm talking about if you play these other games, and if you don't play these other games, I'm wasting your time by telling you anyway. So anyway, it goes. So under Bounty Hunter, you saw there was Assassin, Gadgeteer, and...
Survivalist.
Under Assassin?
Under Bounty Hunter, yeah.
Oh, Bounty Hunter? Okay. So it's kind of obvious at Assassin, you get extra talents, some that are just automatically, you get a bonus to this skill. Mm-hmm. Other things you activate, so maybe when you're trying to hit them, you automatically add a bonus dice if you're trying to knock them unconscious or whatever. So these are cool things that make your character more unique. And you can get multiple talent trees. It costs a lot of XP.
It does.
You can even get a second career. What were you going to say?
There's no limit to how many you can get, but it gets more and more expensive the more you get.
It does. And it's surprisingly well balanced. Mm-hmm. In the original Edge of the Empire, there's only one type of Jedi that you can be, and it's basically like, I'm a lost acolyte, and I don't know what I'm a Jedi that will always have acne and talk like this.
I can lift rocks.
You're Luke in the first movie. I'm sorry, the first movie filmed.
The first good movie.
The movie that started it all. A New Hope. So anyhow, that's character creation. Combat, you do have points. A unique thing this game does is they have minion, adversary, then rival.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. The adversary rival thing, I was trying to remember what order they came in. So, the top one, rival, is the one that's most like a player character in that they have all these abilities and stats.
Yeah.
And they actually get extra bonuses, or you get extra penalties when fighting them, just to make them more badass.
You get one of these red dice, which are the worst dice you can get. And it can make it... That symbol is very bad. I don't know if you can see it. That symbol is very bad.
The adversary is like a player character without the extra bonuses. Now, something else, this game system, instead of just having straight hit points or health points, they also have, what's the other one?
Strain.
Strain, which is basically mental trauma. So you can suffer strain, and that's actually how people knock you out. When doing stunning damage, it takes off your strain. Rival. He's snoring.
He is. It's very cute.
Rival has the health and the strain. Adversary, I want to say it has both.
Yeah.
But the minion groups, these are the ones I want to talk about. So when you see him fighting 12 stormtroopers, minion groups are linked weak characters.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have that dozen or 2 dozen stormtroopers coming at you, but they're linked in groups of 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
So the way that works, their gun skill, normally they just get 1 dice for it.
Yeah.
But the more of them in the linked group, they get 1 dice per.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes them a little better shot. But when this linked group of 3 stormtroopers fires, there might be 3 shots, but you only roll to see if one of them hits, which explains the movies why they always missed.
Yeah.
Well, not always, but mostly missed. Except for that one in Return of the Jedi, Han in the shoulder. Bet you he got accommodation.
Someone hit Han in Return of the Jedi?
Yeah, when they're breaking into the bunker.
Oh, yeah.
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 And then she's all like, it's okay. And he's like, I love you. And she's like, I know. And he's like,
Or 2 just break it already.
anyhow. Yeah, the minion groups are linked. So when you do damage to them, like say for stormtroopers, for every 5 points of damage you do, it takes 1 out of the group, which means their aim gets less and less.
And then they're dead.
But that's great because I can send a horde of stormtroopers or womp rats, Minox, what have you, against the players, and it looks and feels very overwhelming, but on the other hand, it's not.
Just play it right.
There is the very real danger, though, of you do have that many people that you have to go through before you defeat the encounter. And yet they hit you, they still do the normal damage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so space combat. They have space combat and they have ships, and that's very similar to the one-on-one person combat. Slightly different in that you have multiple people on the ship, so you could use different weapons if they're available, or do different things within the ship, such as repair it in the middle of combat, or maneuvers with a pilot and a co-pilot.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the technicals. You got any other stuff that you think they might want to know before deciding to play? That's a fair point. You want to just start with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so see that dice there? That's a force dice. When you're using the force, it's the dice you roll to see if you get dark side or light side when you dial up the force. Hello, force, I need to... Oh, it's the dark side again. I don't want to talk to you. You got to choose, and if you use dark side points, bad things happen. Ooh. But this dice is also rolled at the beginning of each gaming session.
Uh-huh.
And there is something called destiny points. And depending what each player rolls 1 dice, and you see how many dark side and light side points you get. So let's say 3 people are playing. 2 light. Hold on. 2 dark. Hold up 2. You're dark. No, just hold up your 2 fingers.
Oh. Dark.
And 1 more dark. Okay. Dark. So now we got 2 light side, which look like this. Grab the dark side. That's the light side point.
And this is the dark side point.
Okay, there we go. I think they saw. Now what these are awesome points.
Yeah.
The game master can use the dark side points. The players can use the light side points, and they use it for not a automatic win. It's not that.
No.
It's...
Oh, I forgot rope and I need to climb this mountain. Huh, what's this in my bag?
Yeah, you flip a destiny point. Now, when I say flip one, if it's on light side and they use it, it's now dark side.
Yeah.
And you want to encourage people to constantly use these. And as the game master, you want to constantly use them so they start getting light side points, and it allows you to shift that stuff. Mm-hmm. It can also do things like, So I'm being chased down the alley by this thug. Okay, and I hit that corner, turn around it, calmly walking out like an innocent bystander. You flip your destiny point, and there's stormtroopers there walking towards me, and they see this shady character behind me. Okay, that's fair. So that could throw them off your track.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. It's you can use it to get like a bonus dice to a roll if you really want to.
Or the game master can use it to give you a bad dice.
Right. So that's a good. All three systems. Okay, I think we hit the technicals, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, our thoughts and feelings on the game as we hit a 20-minute review.
Yeah. I never thought we'd get this far on a review, but the game, it really makes you feel like you're in the scenario instead of like in World of Warcraft. For those of you who play World of Warcraft or Star Wars: The Old Republic or a game like that, you just see what's going on. You don't feel like you're in it. This makes you feel like you're inside of the scenario. It feels like you are your character.
Now, let me ask you, is that because of the gaming system or is that because of the game master?
I think it's a perfect mixture of the two because he always runs the games. I have no idea how to. And he runs a really good game. I mean, like, I have no idea what.
Your coffee.
Oh.
Streamers.
Okay.
And I'm being humble. Keep talking. Don't stop.
But,
Say more good things.
he does good games. But also the mechanics, like, the space battles. You never know if they're gonna hit your hyperdrive, so you can't zip out of there.
That's actually something else that could be mentioned, is critical hits. In the game system itself. In the space battles, yeah, they could do damage directly to the ship, but if they get a critical hit, they can also shoot out your hyperdrive or your shield generator, your communications array, or what have you.
Your weapon system.
Right, critical hits on people can do things like give you a minor penalty for the rest of the game or the rest of the scene. Or it can remove a leg for a more serious one, and suddenly you have less agility unless if you get a bionic implant.
Or very bad case scenario, and this is really only with rivals, you die.
Yeah, there is instant death critical hits. They're hard, really hard to get up there. And of course, if you're a game master,
don't do it.
Well, no. Don't do it if it doesn't further your storyline. If you have 4 players and the one that's always doing crazy stuff and pulling danger down on top of the group gets that critical hit on him, you know what? Maybe that's a worthy cause to have him die.
Yeah.
Or if you have 4 players and one sacrifices himself so the other 3 get away and you roll that critical hit, that's a time to let that character die.
Yeah.
Because that death means something at that point. The other characters solved it. So, yeah, no, that's good stuff. Going on what you said there, now I have gamed since early 80s. Coffee pot shutting off. Since the early 80s. So I guess since I was 33 years now. There's been a few games that really lend themselves to the atmosphere. This is one of them. This is definitely one of them. It's a fun game. Once you know those dice, it's quick, it's easy, it's creative. It doesn't lend itself to number crunching. It lends itself to the imagination and creativity of the players and the game master.
Yeah.
You walk away at level 1. You start the game and you've already got 6 or 8 dice in your hand that you're rolling. You feel heroic just dropping that many dice on the table. Flipping a destiny point to change something like that. You feel heroic. You feel like you're part of it. And yes, by the way, you can play the bad guys. I haven't bothered to do that. Been enjoying the other side too much. But now, there are all kinds of expansions and books also, which is nice on one hand. On the other hand, they just want my money. But I do feel like the information is worth it. You know, I have picked up books which are covering the Hutts,
Corellia.
and a few other Force and Destiny ones, and I'd love more of them. And matter of fact, down the road, he and I, Fantasy Flight, I'm talking to you here, he and I would love to review the other books individually.
Yeah.
But, frankly, this book that you've been looking at here, each of these were like $60. The expansions are $30+ dollars.
Yeah.
I just don't have that kind of spending money. And that's one downfall of these games, is they are expensive. And I have had dealers say they're not carrying their stuff anymore, so I get the feeling there's some kind of socio-political conflict going on there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's on Fantasy Flight, because it's not just one person I've seen have this problem.
Yeah.
All in all, a really good game, a fun game. You feel like you're really part of it, and you're important, and you're doing something, even when you're just starting out. It's one of the few games I have found where I feel like you can take a brand new character that was just made and put him in there with higher powered characters and be okay.
Yeah.
That's that. I think that wraps it up, you think?
Yeah.
We like it.
Yeah. It's really good.
Oh, we're doing a review. This is a review? Is this a review?
Yeah, this is a review.
So we should... Oh, we didn't do it for the Wawa sheets, but that was more a versus.
Yeah, it was.
So this game I'm actually going to give 7 out of 10 toasts to. Here's the Star Wars Edge of the Empire by... Do you want to give a ranking?
Yeah, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Just because I've had a lot of good memories with this game. Now I'm in prison.
Is that with your Jedi or your other guy?
Jedi.
Yeah. Anyhow, make sure you check the links below. Click. You know, I wonder when I set this up, the other videos I put over here, maybe I can link directly to your channel on one of them.
I think you could.
I'll check. I'll try. Anyhow, check out his channel too. Encourage the kid to be creative and that sort of thing.
And subscribe to him if you want to see more father and son things. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Okay. Talk to you later.